The Antichrist is here, the church is sound asleep, and the world is hit snooze as the papacy continues to inch closer and closer to enforcing the mark of the beast. And yes, the Sunday law from the Vatican is the mark of the beast. The U.S. sends a nuclear submarine to the Middle East. Hamas official warns that they will repeat October 7th again and again, and Israel must be removed. Iran warns America it will be hit hard if no Gaza ceasefire is implemented. U.S. officials already gauging successor from Mid-East war. Biden believes Netanyahu won't last much longer in office. U.S. officials are bracing for Iranian cyber attacks. Developing story, Truist, Bank of America, Chase, U.S. Bank, and Wells Fargo's direct deposit systems have all gone down. Israeli forces blast subterranean Hamas terror tunnels in major Gaza operation. Israeli troops advance towards Gaza City. Palestinian death toll rises to over 9,000. U.S. discussing putting in a peacekeeping force in Gaza after Hamas falls. Biden pressing Israel for a ceasefire in war with Hamas. Benjamin Netanyahu has stated there will be no ceasefire, but I did see another report that the U.S. says they're optimistic and believe they will soon be able to convince Benjamin Netanyahu to a ceasefire. Prophecy Watch, Syria's Assad agreed to send Russian missile system to Hezbollah with Wagner Group help. Hezbollah leader praises Hamas terror attack against Israel as heroic form of jihad. Prophecy Watch, Turkey's President Erdogan wants to lead Muslim world against Israel. Obama calls for Israel to end their occupation and calls for a two-state solution. Calls for army to be deployed in London for 1 million strong Palestine march. Iranian group is recruiting suicide bombers willing to strike targets in Israel. Putin just signed a law revoking nuclear test ban treaty. Hezbollah leader vows to attack American troops in first remark since war started. Israeli flag lit on fire in violent New York City street clash aimed Israel's war with Hamas. Israeli first responder says Hamas killers roasted babies in an oven during the October 7th terror attack. Elite universities begin losing billionaire donors over anti-Israel activism. China is working on a new weapon the world deems too dangerous to exist. They are working on a nuclear intercontinental ballistic missile that goes 20 times the speed of sound that can leave orbit and come back into orbit when it needs to hit its target. Calls for violence against Jews rocks D.C. aimed at massive pro-Palestinian protests. Thousands of pro-Palestinian protesters flood D.C. streets, paint White House fence, and scream, "Forget Joe Biden." FCC commissioner warns Biden equity plan for internet control sweeping, unprecedented, and unlawful. Developing story, mystery JN1. You know what variant surges in Europe, infections producing new symptoms. Thousands are lining up for Elon Musk's brain chip implants. The CDC is adding flu and RSV surveillance at major U.S. airports. The Antichrist of Bible prophecy, George Mario Bergoglio, better known by his alias, Pope Francis, confirms he will be attending UN COP28 Climate Change Conference in Dubai. A Masonic leader was at the Vatican Environmental Conference to promote depopulation. Pentagon announces new nuclear bomb that is 24 times more powerful than the one that was dropped on Japan. UN national delegations vote 121 to 14 in favor of immediate ceasefire in Gaza, isolating Israel and the U.S. Benjamin Netanyahu still saying he will not agree to a ceasefire. Chaos grips Australia as telecoms outage leaves millions without phone and internet access. Two long dormant supervolcanoes, one located in California, another located in Italy, are showing new signs of seismic unrest. Earthquake in Nepal kills 150 and injures hundreds more. Another earthquake, magnitude 4.8 earthquake, strikes southern China. And lawlessness will continue to abound. Another shooting, this one takes place in Cincinnati, leaves an 11-year-old dead and 5 others injured. Statue of Liberty forced to shut down in New York City by protesters calling for Gaza ceasefire. The United Nations is calling it a children's graveyard. Gaza's death toll tops over 10,000. Assassination attempt was carried out against the Palestinian president. Israel launches major strike on Gaza as violence flares up in Lebanon boundary. Huge explosions reported in Gaza Strip and communities in northern Israel come under mortar and rocket fire from Hezbollah. Massive solar eruption called Canyon of Fire was unleashed on Halloween night that extended more than 60,000 miles. Just like the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, more and more high school teachers are quitting their jobs and turning to porn to pay off their student loan debts. Israel warns their citizens to not travel over fears of violent and disturbing anti-Semitic attacks. China is pursuing the creation of advanced humanoid robots by 2025. Baptist pastor issues an apology after being exposed as a cross-dresser and shortly after commits suicide. High school teacher on administrative leave after dressing up as the devil and saying "Hail Satan" to his students. Eye drops sold at Walmart flagged by feds for potentially causing blindness. Over 900 pharmacists working for CVS and Walgreens may soon strike, causing major disruptions to medical prescriptions. Developing story, migrant caravan heading to the U.S. swells to over 7,000 Chinese influencers showing migrants how to cross the border. Protesters gather outside of Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's house as anger grows over the war in Hamas. As famine, pestilence, and war continue to rattle the globe, Mother Earth continues to experience her birth pains as the sands of time finish sing. Cursed world, they're fast running out. The prophecies in God's holy word are all nearly fulfilled as the soon return of Jesus Christ upon us.